Hari Om. We'll chant some mantras from section 4. Mano Brahmeti Vyajanat. Mano Brahmeti Vyajanat. Manaso yeva khalvimani bhutani jayante. Manasa jatani jivanti. Mana prayantyapisam vishanti. Tad vidnyaya punareva varunam pitaram upasasara. Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti tagam hovacha tapasa brahma vijitnyasasva. Tapo brahmeti satapo tapyata satapastaptva Vijnanam brahmeti vyajanat. Vijnanadyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante. Vijnanena jatani jivanti. Vijnanam prayantyabhisham vishantiti. Tat vidnyaya punareva varunam pitaram upasasara. Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti tagam hovacha tapasa brahma vijitnyasasva. Tapo brahmeti satapo tapyata satapastaptva. So Bhrigu approached his father and requested him to teach him Brahma. Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti. So first the teacher pointed out the dwar, the gateway to Brahma. Annam pranam chakshushrotram mano vak iti. These are all ways by which we can recognize that Brahma. And then he gives the lakshana of this Brahma. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantyabhisham vishanti. That Brahma is that from whom all the beings have come, in whom all the beings remain, and in whom all the beings finally merge. So when all the beings are said, I am also included. So then he went and did tapas. And after doing tapas, Bhrigu realized Annam as Brahma. Annam Brahmeti Vyajanat. Anna is food. Anna is our outermost this kosha, this body, which is made up of food. So he realized that as Brahma. And when he realized that as Brahma, it is also realized simultaneously as I. Because it is the source of Brahma is indicated as the source of I. So I and Brahma are same, because I have come from that Brahma, remain in Brahma, and again merge back into Brahma. So if something comes from somewhere and again merges back, then it is that only. It's like the gold ornaments. If all the ornaments come from gold, remains in gold and merge back, go back into gold, then the ornaments are gold only. The other name is only Vacharambanam. It's only namesake, but actually it is gold. They are gold. Similarly, I am that Brahma. So first he realized that I am this Annamay Sharir only, because I am born in this with food. I survive on food and again merge back into food. But then he was himself not convinced. So this inquiry, till one gains firm conviction, one should keep on doing it. So he was not very convinced. So he approached his teacher again. Then teacher told him that you do tapas. Tapo brahmeti. So tapas itself is Brahma, means through tapas itself one can recognize that Brahma. Tapas is thinking, inquiry, concentrated, single pointed inquiry into that Brahma. So tapo tapyata. So after contemplating for a long time, he came to the understanding that prana is Brahma, that life, because I am born in life, I survive in life, and again I emerge back into life. So I am life, and that life is Brahma. All the beings are born in life itself. So life is, that prana is Brahma. But still he was not convinced. He approached his father, and then again he contemplated and came to understand the mind as Brahma. The mind with all its emotions, its thoughts, its desires, which are indicated as the Vedas, all the desires, all the passions that actually controlled our pranas. We live in a particular body also, as long as that desire which can be fulfilled through that body exist. Once that is over, then one drops that body and takes up another one. So the mind is understood as Brahma. He realized that I am this mind. I am not the body. I am not the pranas, because prana also exists in me. That body also exists in me. I am the mind. And this we can comprehend also, that all that we experience in this world is experienced in the mind itself. So he realized, I am that mind. But again he approached his father, and father told him to contemplate further. Ki tapasa brahma vididnyasasva tapo brahmeti, that you do tapas. So he goes and does tapas and comes to understand Vijnanam as Brahma. Vijnanam is knowledge, definite, true knowledge. In the previous section we had seen the knowledge which one gains through the Vedas. Definite, true knowledge is that Vijnana which is indicated here, which controls the mind also, which is the as though the Atma of that mind. And if one meditates on this Vijnana, the very adhishthan of that Vijnana, the pratishtha of that Vijnana was indicated as that Mahat Tattva, the cosmic intellect, or the cosmic intelligence. The Hiranyagarbha was indicated as the pratishtha of this Vijnanam. So through his concentrated tapas, he realized the beauty of this Vijnana, that it is the intelligence which is the very basis of thoughts. Actually, in mind we have those thoughts, but thoughts are the outer expression of intelligence only. For example, if I know something, then I know. But if I have to express it, I use words, I use language. But even before using language, I know. Sometimes I know something, but I cannot express because I don't have the language. Even little children, they know a lot. Before they even speak, they understand. But they don't have the capacity to speak, that has not developed. And also they don't have all the words and all. So, but they understand. So knowledge which happens, it doesn't require words also, sentences also. It is something very subtle. We actually are born with lot of this past knowledge from our past lives also, which then we express in a particular language. In our past life, we might be speaking some other language. One may be Tamilian in the past life. And then in this time we were born Punjabi. But the samskar which were collected as a Tamilian is still there, but now we express whatever we know in Punjabi. So the knowledge is beyond words. It doesn't require words for them. But to express, it requires words, sentences. Even the animals, they know when you are calling the animal, the dog, if you are wanting to feed the dog knows that you want to feed. But dog may not be able to express it in our language. Even the birds and all, they give warning signal to other birds. If some danger is there, they make some particular sound, and other birds know. So they know danger is there. That knowledge is there, which they express through some sound. So that is called Vijnana. Vijnana is very subtle, and that intelligence is there in all beings. Even animals, plants, they have this intelligence. A plant, a seed, a small tiny little seed, it has got the intelligence to collect the right material from the soil. Suppose you have a tiny little apple seed. It knows what type of material to be collected, because it doesn't carry all the material. It just carries intelligence. So it takes the material and grows into a beautiful tree with lots of apples. So that intelligence which is there in the seed, that jiva who is there in the apple, if it happens to be born as human being, will be able to express its knowledge through words or emotions. But still that knowledge is there. So this intelligence which is common in all beings in their own way, even in a tiny little bacterium, the intelligence is there. It knows that you are eating these antibiotics, so let me become more defensive. So many of these bacteria and all, they have started mutating and becoming more strong to fight all the tetracyclines and all. Anacin, metacin, all the sins of the human being, they have to eat and fight. So, they are quite intelligent. Intelligence is there in every being. So that intelligence is there in me, which when it comes in the mind, then the thoughts, emotions and all are there. And when from the mind, when I express it through words, then again the sentences and language I use. Even at the level of emotions, there is no language there. Suppose somebody is irritating and you get angry, there is no language. But when you express it, then you express in a language. But suppose a Chinese person is angry, a Japanese is angry, Indian is angry. The anger, it doesn't have, you don't say this Chinese anger. It is the emotions, they are quite interesting. They are not within the scope. I mean, we have named them. First they are there, they exist. And they have their names. Anger, jealousy, love, hatred, whatever. So this intelligence, which is even subtler than these emotions, subtler than our thoughts and desires, they are the one who guide this, who are the master of the mind. And the mind is the master of the pranas. And prana is the master of the body. So if we just look at the body, we feel that is the main thing. But if we go deeper, we find the body also depends on the prana. Still deeper, we understand prana also depends on the mind. And still deeper, mind also depends on that intelligence, that knowledge, which exists, which expresses through our buddhi and all, but it is there deep within. So that is called Vijnanam. So through deep contemplation, Bhrigu understood that this Vijnanam is Brahma. To even reach this stage is a big step. But he came to understand that Vijnanam Brahmeti Vyajanat. But then he, after contemplating, he came to realize that Vijnanam may not be the ultimate. Even this intelligence is also motivated by something. Even this intelligence may not be the ultimate thing. So, with this doubt in mind, he approached his teacher and again requested, Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti, O my dear Bhagwan, please teach me Brahma. And Tagam Hovacha Tapasa Brahma Vijitnyasasva. See, when we approach a teacher and when we study with the teacher for a long time also, from the first day onward, teacher says the same thing actually. Oh my dear child, you are Brahman. Next day again he comes. Teacher, I have come, very good, sit down. Let us study Vedanta. My dear child, you are Brahman. Wait, let me take the notes. So after 2 years also says the same thing. Therefore sometimes people are surprised when you come regularly here. They start wondering, क्यों आप जाते हो वही बार बार. Hmm. For so many years, even school and college, after some time they stop going. Say, हो गया मेरा education complete हो गया. But Vedanta education seems to be going on and on and on till the cows come home. So one wonders. But you need not wonder, because this is the parampara. So he approached his teacher, ki, please teach me Brahman. Yes, sit down, I will teach you. He said, tapasa Brahma vijidnyasasva. Through tapas, you know that Brahma. I have already indicated what that Brahma is. Now, what is required, you have done the Shravan. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayanti visham vishanti. This is the Shravan you have done. But now you have to do Manan. So, tapas. So, tapasa Brahma vijidnyasasva. Tapo Brahmeti. Tapas itself is Brahma. So, again he goes and does tapas. He tries to find out what is that which propels this intelligence also. We know, but what? And this knowledge gives rise to various emotions and desires. It gives, controls the pranas, controls the body. But what is that which is even subtler than this intelligence? From where this intelligence also comes? What is the source of this intelligence? When do we experience this intelligence and when do we not experience it? What is the source? So he felt that it is also karya, so he went and did some more thinking and came to the understanding. Let us chant next section. Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat Anandadhyeva khal vimani bhutani jayante Anandena jatani jivanti Anandam prayantya visham vishantiti Sesha bhargavi varuni vidya Parame vyoman pratisthita Saya evam veda pratitishthati Annavan annado bhavati Mahan bhavati prajaya pashubhir brahma varchasena Mahan kirtya. So he did some more contemplation, focused, directed, serious thinking to understand, to comprehend. And this thinking is such a faculty that through that we can dive deeper and deeper within ourselves. It is therefore, it's also we call it vichar. Vichar, that word has come from the dhatu chara, chara to move. Vichar is also like a movement. When we do this subtle thinking, we can as though move within, deeper and deeper into our own inner being. So this Vijnanam, that is intelligence, in which we have all our understanding, our philosophies, which guides our emotions, our desires. But this intelligence also is not the ultimate cause. Why do we have this? What propels this intelligence? Because intelligence propels the desires, desires propel the prana, prana propels the body. So what is that which makes the intelligence also tick? For what purpose does the intelligence perform this, express itself? So when we investigate this deeply, we will find that this intelligence is also motivated and controlled and guided by something deeper than this intelligence, and that is Ananda. Ananda. Happiness. Ananda. See, we will find that all that we do in this world is propelled by Ananda only. Propelled by Ananda means propelled with the desire to gain that Ananda, to experience that Ananda. We have desires to obtain something, we strive our level best, we obtain that object, and when we obtain that object, we feel happy. But for a short time, again we are disturbed. Then based on my intelligence, again I put forth effort. My intelligence tells me that this happiness I did not find in this object, maybe it is in the other object. So that intelligence propels my emotions. I keep desiring that I did not get it here, but I will get it there. So that desire keeps my pranas active. Pranas then make the body active and perform action to obtain it. So the intelligence also is inner to that intelligence is this happiness which we experience all the time. In the previous section also we had seen that this Ananda was described, Anandamaya Atma, tasya priyameva shiraha modo dakshina pakshaha pramodo uttara pakshaha ananda atma brahma puchham pratishtha. So that was, we had seen in the last section, Brahmananda Valli, ki that Ananda which one experiences, first of all, one experiences a changing Ananda, Priya, Moda, Pramoda. Priya means when we think of the object which is dear to us, when we think of the object or the person or a place or the state which is dear to us according to our own intelligence, if we think that if I get that post, I will be very happy, or if I meet that person, or that person is very dear to me, but that person has gone away, but I think of that person and I feel very happy. So thinking of the object of my liking or what is dear to me, it gives me joy. That is called first stage of joy, like Priya. When I actually then see that person or encounter that person or object, when I come to know that anytime I will get it or meet him, my Ananda increases. So from that you know thoda sa increase ho gaya Ananda. That is called Moda. And when I actually experience that object, indulge in that object, then there is more ananda. That is called pramoda. So priya, moda, pramoda. So and this priya, mod, pramod depends on our how much, what we will feel priya, mod, pramod and all depends on our vasanas, which depends, which is because of our ignorance and all, but it is based on that, because what is priya to one person may not be priya to the other person. It is not the object which is like that. It is our attitude towards it. What we hold on to as very dear and all, other fellow might be just throwing it away. It happens many times. Even with countries, what the other countries throws away is not required, other country just picks it up and says very important. What is banned in another country, it is used in some other country. So what is priya, moda, pramoda for one person may be different for the other person. But what? That there is a samanya ananda, a general happiness which everyone experiences. And when we experiences it, when we are in deep sleep state, when we are sound asleep. Therefore some people actually, even in pravachan, they go to sleep. That is the best. At least you are more happy than the other person struggling to understand. So samanya happiness is there. Samanya means general. Means everyone, all beings experience that happiness the same way. See, if I want to know how you enjoyed your day, I will have to ask you, kya kiya, kaisa, how did you, what happened? But if I want to know, if suppose you say I slept throughout the lecture, I don't have to ask more details. I don't know exactly how happy you were. I know. Because when I sleep, I get the same happiness which you got. So that happiness which we experience in sleep is samanya, in the sense it is general, but it is param. It is not a simple happiness. It is a happiness which is obtained without any objects, without the need for any object. It's very interesting that without contact with any object, I experience that happiness in deep sleep state. That means that happiness is not connected with the objects, really speaking. If that happiness is not connected with the objects, then how come when I obtain some object I feel happy? Because we generally say, oh, I got happiness from this object. What happens is that when I have desire to obtain that object, when I have desire, then there are these thoughts and I feel that I am different, this object is different and I have to put forth effort to obtain it. But when I obtain that object, the dvaita between me and the object goes away. I got it. Only I alone am there. Means object also becomes part of me. So in that state of little temporary advaita, the avarana which is there on the self of this ignorance temporarily gets eliminated, and one experiences joy. Or in other words, when I want that object, thoughts and disturbance are there, but when I obtain, the thoughts become silent, there are no desires, and I am close to myself. Because when I have desire, I feel that I want that, so there is division is created. But when there are no desires, there are no divisions of this kind, I am close to myself, and in that state I experience happiness of my own self. So even when we experience the world and the Vishaya Ananda is also ultimately Brahmananda only. But it is not recognized and it is not fully experienced because it depends on the obtaining those objects. The quietude depends on the obtaining those objects. So it depends on my karma. The priyamod, pramod, what we experience depends, they are like karma phala only. They depend on karma. Even my sleep depends on my karma. If my karma is not proper, sleep also doesn't come. Suppose I have desire to obtain an object, outer, मुझे कुछ चाहिए, कोई वस्तु चाहिए, outer, that is one desire. Then I am hungry and all, I want to eat, another desire. Third desire, I want to sleep. We're just analyzing these three types of desire. Desire to obtain an object, desire to eat to maintain my body, and desire to sleep. Which of them is strong? Which of them is deep? We find that sometimes we give up the outer objects in order to eat, because maintaining the body, surviving is more important. But sometimes, even if we get enough food to eat and all, if we don't get to sleep, we become miserable. We cannot say, nahi, khane ka anand to hai na, why you want to sleep? No. I want to sleep also. Even if I have to go hungry one day, I don't mind, but I want to sleep. Thus, experience of sleep and the happiness which one gains in sleep is something very unique and very important. That happiness is the happiness of our own self, because I am of the nature of that self. I mean happiness. So that happiness which we experience in the deep sleep state is the ananda which is experienced by everyone. It is the samanya ananda which is called there Ananda Atma. So tasya priyameva shiraha modo dakshina pakshaha pramodo uttara pakshaha Ananda Atma Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. But this Ananda depends, or it is founded on, or it is based on, or it is the expression of that Brahma only. The Ananda which we experience in deep sleep state, though I say I experienced it, I slept and I was happy. The basis of that Ananda, the Pratishtha of that Ananda is Brahma. Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Just as this body, my body is made up of matter, the 5 elements, but the substratum of this body is the earth. उधर से ही निकला है सब material. So though I might say that, oh, I am body, this is the main thing and all, but it has come from that earth. This body is like a drop of that earth. Earth is the very, very substratum of this body. In the same way, in deep sleep state, the happiness which we experience is a drop of that Brahmananda. It is based on Brahmananda. Means, if in that deep sleep state, when we go to sleep, we are actually one with that Brahma only. The jiva becomes one with Brahma in deep sleep state. But when we wake up, again we identify with our body. So our ignorance doesn't get eliminated. Our avidya doesn't get eliminated. Our identification with the body doesn't get removed. So when we go to sleep, I am neither man, nor woman, nor young, nor old, nor Hindu, Muslim, nor human being, animal, bird, plant. What am I? I become of the nature of Ananda. Sanmatra, pure existence, and I remain there as Ananda. Anandamayo hi Ananda Bhuk. So, but I don't remain there for long. When we wake up, again I identify with my body. A tiger wakes up as a tiger, a lion wakes up as a lion. Though when they are asleep, they are all one with Brahma. So the ignorance is there, avidya is there. That is the only difference. In deep sleep state, the avidya is there. If that gets eliminated, then that one gains abidance in that Brahma only. So this Ananda, which Samanya Ananda, which one experiences in deep sleep state, that Ananda, in that Ananda itself, it becomes one with, we become one with that Brahma. In that Brahma itself, then the entire creatures, all the creatures, they are born in this Ananda, from this Ananda. They survive on this Ananda and again merge back into Ananda. Anandam Brahmeti Vejanat. So he came to understand this, that this Ananda is Brahma. And when he came to know that this Ananda is Brahma, in the waking state itself, through deep contemplation, he came to understand this Ananda and came to know that this is Brahma. So avidya also got eliminated. Avidya got eliminated. And when avidya got eliminated, he gained abidance in that Brahma. So this is very subtle and very important. So Anando Brahmeti Vejanat. He understood Ananda as Brahma. Anandatheva khal vimani bhutani jayante. All beings are born from Ananda. The general Ananda, even Ishvara is that Ananda Swarup only. We become one with Ishvara in our deep sleep state. He is Ananda Swarup. From Ishvara only all of us are born. We survive on Ishvara and again merges back into that Ishvara. So Ananda Swarup Ishvara. So Anandena Jatani Jivanti, having born in Ananda, we exist in that Ananda. And Anandam Prayantyabhisam Vishanti iti. That one again goes back into Ananda. So this he comprehended, and when he came to know that Brahma is Ananda Swarup and I am that Brahma, he didn't have to again check with his teacher. See, doesn't go back to his teacher to check. All doubts get clear. Bhidyate hridaya grantihi chindyanti sarva samshayaha kshiyante chayasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. When one comes to comprehend that supreme reality, all doubts get eliminated. You don't have to ask anybody. Okay, what do you say? Am I Brahma? In the state of ignorance, we have to ask. And whoever you ask in the world, he will tell you you are crazy. हाँ, उन्होंने बोल दिया और आपने मान लिया. नहीं, how can you be Brahma? You are a foolish person. But when one contemplates and comes to know, one reaches this level of Ananda, not sleep. Sleep, we reach that Saman. In waking state, we analyze and understand that Ananda which I was experiencing in my sleep, that is Brahma. That state which I was there in sleep, I was in the lap of Brahma. I had become one with Brahma. So when one comprehends this through vichar, then the journey is over. Then there is no need to verify. So anandam prayantyabi samvishanti iti saisha bhargavi varuni vidya. This is called Bhargavi Varuni Vidya, Bhargavi Vidya, because Bhrigu, belonging to Bhrigu. Bhargavi means belonging to or named after Bhrigu. This Vidya means this technique of this type of inquiry, which ultimately leads to Brahmajnana, is called Bhargavi Varuni, who was the son of this Varuna. It is not called Varuna Vidya, though the teacher was Varuna, but it was Bhrigu who pursued this path and realized the truth. So hereafter it is named as Bhargavi Vidya. Just like in the field of science also somebody discovers, then that name of that scientist is given. Newton's law of gravitation. Before Newton was born, the gravitational law was there. Because of that only the apple fell on his head. But we have named it as Newton's law. Similarly, this Vidya is named as Bhargavi Vidya. Saisha Bhargavi Varuni Vidya. And Parame Vyoman Pratishtita. And the ultimate destination of this Vidya, it starts from Anna, from food. But its ultimate destination is that Parame Vyoman, in that supreme space, which is the space of supreme consciousness. Parame Vyoman Pratishtita, which is Brahma. So it starts with inquiry from Anna, but ultimate destination, abidance of this Vidya is in that supreme Brahma, the supreme space of consciousness, that Brahma. So Parame Vyoman Pratishtita. What about this? You told the story of Bhrigu, but what about us? What about others? Other seekers? Can they also follow this path followed by Bhrigu? He said, yes, all can follow. He says, Ki saya evam veda pratitishthati. Whoever that person may be, if he follows this path of inquiry, he will also get established in that same Brahma. Saya evam veda pratitishthati. So, this is the phala. One Brahmavid Brahmaiva bhavati. The knower of Brahma becomes Brahma. The outer phala of this is also indicated. See, when one comes to recognize that this jiva, the one who is there, who is experiencing as Brahma, that is what the ultimate is. That is, I am that Brahma. That knowledge happens. Direct realization of that happens. But even after that realization, the one may still be aware of this body, aware of the world, So the world doesn't disappear with the knowledge of Brahma. The body doesn't disappear with the knowledge of Brahma. It is like, suppose I come to know that all gold ornaments are gold, that there is nothing but gold. The ornaments will not disappear. Arre, kahan gaya, pata nahi. When I came to know it is gold, it just disappeared. It doesn't, because gold and ornaments are not two, they are one. It is one only. World and Brahma are not two, it is one. World will not disappear. World is not like the snake which just disappears when we come to know the rope. World is like the pot which remains even when the clay is known. So the Jivan, therefore we have what we call Jivan Mukti, that Jivan Neva Muktaha. While living itself in this world, one is free because one has come to recognize and realize that oneness. So such a realized person, a Jivan Mukta, about him it is said, Annavan Annado Bhavati. He becomes Annavan and Annado. So using the language of Anna only is described a Jivan Mukta. Annavan means having lot of food. Literal meaning. And Annado means eater of food. Pujya Gurudev, he says very humorously, if this is the result of Brahma Vidya, one become a glutton, then that is quite terrible. Yeah? That after suddenly we Brahma, because before that itself we are like that, and after knowing Brahma, that will be like one will be eating, eat. So what does it mean? Annavan, he becomes Annavan, just like we have Dhanavan, means one who has Dhana is called Dhanavan. One who has got Anna is called Annavan. Means one who comes to own or comes to understand that all this Anna, this entire creation is myself. I am, that is called Sarvatma Bhav. I am the Annavan. All this world which outer we see is the outermost kosha we see. All beings is Anna only we see. Food, matter. So a Jivan Mukta understands, he becomes the owner as though of this entire creation. Annavan Bhavati, becomes the master of the entire universe. I am the king, I am the master. There was a great saint, Swami Ram Tirtha. He used to say, I am the master of this universe. Everything belongs to me. Because it really belongs to Jivan Mukta only. Others are all slaves. So Annavan Bhavati becomes, and Annado means eater of, experiencer of this world. He is the proper experiencer of this world also. He enjoys the world. Like Bhagwan Krishna. Bhagwan Krishna was Annavan and Annado. He also tells Arjuna ki I have come here to swallow this whole world, eat the whole world. Kalosmi Bharatarshava. So, one comes to understand that I myself am everything, that everything and also everything exists in me. Everything gets swallowed by me. Everything merges back into me. It's like gold. Suppose I was thinking I am an ornament, but when I come to know that I am gold, then I will know that I am the owner of all the ornaments. and I am the eater of all the ornaments, all merge into me. So annavan annado bhavati, mahan bhavati. Such a realized master becomes really mahan. Therefore we call him Mahatma. Great, because he has realized something which is great, that Brahma is the great. So one who realizes that Mahan Brahma also becomes Mahan. Mahan Bhavati. And how he becomes Mahan? Prajaya, Pashubhihi, and Brahma Varchasena. He has got lots of Praja also. All beings are like his Praja, his children. He has got many children. A realized master is like all the creatures of this world are the children of. Just like we say all of us are children of God, he becomes God, he is God. So all are like his Praja only. He becomes Praja, Prajaya, with lots of Praja, lots of children. सब उन्हीं के बच्चे. Then Pashubhihi, lots of wealth. In the Pashu is also of a measure of wealth, or animals of wealth. So he becomes the most wealthy. Pashubhihi. And Brahma Varchasena, and with Brahma Varchas. Brahma Varchas are the qualities like Shama, Dama, etc., Jnana, which, because of which there is that tej, that their glory is there, glow is there in a person. It's called Brahma Varchas, spatial glow. Just like some animals, like a tiger and all, he's got a spatial glow is there, or king and all. Similarly, this Atmatjnani, he has got his own Brahma Varchas, the glow, because of the qualities like Shama, Dama, all these great qualities which we talk about, they become his nature. All the good values which the scriptures talk about become the nature of this realized master. Natural. So Pashubhir Brahma Varchasena Mahan Kirtya. He also becomes great in his Kirti, in his fame. So these are some outer signs of a realized master. So thus this beautiful this Aruni, Bhargavi Aruni Vidya, which we have to sincerely pursue. As I said, that many times this jidnyasa is lacking. But if we have this sincere jidnyasa, then we can pursue this path till we reach our destination. Many people say, oh, I don't have time, I have other work, I have to do this, I have to do that. See, certain things when it is said, especially suppose one goes to the doctor and the doctor says that आपको जो है ये बड़ी dangerous बीमारी है. That fellow is thinking I am healthy, everything is fine, this, that and all, and goes to the doctor and very busy, constantly running around meeting this, that and all, no time for anything. Doctor says you are having this disease, whatever, बहुत dangerous है, anytime. From that moment onwards, he will have all the time in the world to think about it. He might be busy like anything. चलते हुए भी डॉक्टर ने क्या बोलते हुए मीटिंग में सोते समय जागते समय ड्रीम दिस दैट all the time that fellow will be engaged. Why? Because it suddenly became very important. It is a life and death situation. ब्रह्म विद्या, लाइफ एंड डेथ अपना चलता है, लाइफ एंड डेथ सिचुएशन नहीं है. इफ आई डोंट फॉलो भार्गवी वारुणी विद्या, कोई कोई कुछ लॉस तो नहीं होने वाला है, नींद नहीं उड़ने वाली है, नहीं. So then we forget about it. But that should not be the case. One should perceive it sincerely, because we have to give ourselves a chance. And this is a great opportunity given to us by Bhagwan. All other things in this world are secondary. All things will be left behind. Everything doesn't make sense. We have been coming into this world from beginningless times. Millions and billions and infinite types of life forms we must have passed through. After going through so many life forms, finally we become human being. Suppose we have to, machhar, must be so many lifetime of machhar we must have been. Dengue machhar, ye machhar, wo machhar. फिर थोड़ा सा प्रोग्रेस हो के और कुछ हानि भी हो गए होंगे हम लोग. अरे वाह. और ग्लो वार्म एंड ऑल, स्पेशल टॉर्च हाथ में पकड़ा दिया भगवान ने, रात में भी आप घूम सकते हो. बट आफ्टर पासिंग थ्रू ऑल दिस 84 crores yonis are there, they say. I have not counted, but the scriptures. So after passing through all of them, so for not one lifetime but many times, same type, and then finally we gain that human birth. But in human birth we are busy. We don't have time for Brahma Vidya. So that should not be the case. So you pursue this path sincerely. Now, from the following sections, some upasanas are mentioned, starting from anna, or mainly the anna related to food, because from food is the dwar by which we can finally recognize that Brahma. So there are certain upasanas which are related to food, which we should pursue sincerely. That we will develop a good rapport, and we will be able to purify our mind, intellect, and pursue this path of inquiry. So that section we will see tomorrow. We will conclude with the Shanti Mantra, and there are some announcements, so you keep sitting. पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम.